The sad thing about many relationship issues is that people are trying to solve problems with this person, and the answer is actually more in your control than you would have thought. You are thinking, how do I get this person to view me this way, to see me this way, and to treat me this way, or to stop treating me this way? The problem is that you are focusing on that person and wanting to change them, where the real answer lies with you, the relationship that you have with yourself and your mind. And this isn't something that is abstract, it's something that influences the way that you behave, the way that you present yourself, the decisions that you're making. And that is where it begins. People spend a lot of time trying to understand how to behave around a certain person because they have this temperament, or this person is this way. And people will say to you, the way that people treat you will tell you how your relationship will be. And that is only part of the story, because this is why you see that people will say that they treated them well in the beginning, and then later on they seem to become someone else. This is also why we hear people talk about in their marriages that things change after a while. The real issue here is this: what a person is doing and the way they are treating you is only half the story. There are two parts to the story. A person can treat you in this way because you're still new, the relationship is novel to them, and everybody is excited. What they're giving to you is based on the stage of the relationship, and that is only one part of it. What happens later when there's so much familiarity and you know yourselves? There's something that needs to be constant. If you want to know that consistency and constant personal, constant behavior that you're going to have later on in years, people think that you can't know it. People actually think that you can know it. Yes, you cannot tell what and what are going to come along your way in life, but you can tell when you can have a person who is going to be consistent and have that constant support and that constant understanding and trust that you can turn your back and they will have your back. But that begins with you, because if you truly understand, that is how you can understand when you see that person. It's like you can't give a goldsmith a counterfeit because he's used to it. So what you need to do is to be able to read this thing in people. And this reading can only come in silence. It's like when you go to the library, just like reading a physical book or reading whatever. And in the physical world, you need some concentration on that thing. This is how, because the person you're trying to understand is the inner person. It's inside that person. So it's not going to be on the things that they're doing on the outside. It's not going to be on the actions that they're taking. It's not an abstract thing. It's sounding abstract right now. But when you really get to it, if you try to follow with my challenges, because I'll be putting out challenges, then things will begin to make more sense to you. You actually have more superpowers, more strengths, more powers. And I'm not talking about anything mystical or mysterious. You have more strength than, you have more information, more knowledge, more abilities, more capacities, more capabilities than you're aware of. But because you haven't been used to being silent, that's the thing. So you are trying to read, you can only read the exterior, and that is because you're working with the exterior. But if you want to get to the inner person and the inner mind, you have to go in the mind, and you can only do this in silence without being distracted by what's happening on the outside. Because what's happening on the outside can be anything. Someone can be putting up a performance. Someone can be excited because they've just met you. Someone can be excited because of the way they feel about you. But the true person is the one who is constant and is going to be there forever. So that is the person that you want to get to know. And you can only get to know this when you have done it first with yourself. A lot of people don't even know that they don't know themselves. And that is why they will have different relationships with different people and not know the reason why they are having the problem that they're having with this person and that person and that person. And sometimes it's the same thing that repeats itself. Sometimes they have repeated cheating they're being cheated on repeatedly. Sometimes they have a person who is disrespectful. They have disrespectful partners, repeated disrespectful partners. So anytime that you're having something that's constant, ask yourself, what is the constant thing in the equation? It's you. So there is something that you don't know about yourself that is creating this thing. And people eventually begin to feel like, oh, so many people are cheats, or so many people are disrespectful, or so many people are selfish. That may well be. That may well be. But to be able to tell when you meet people if this person has this capacity or not. And if you want to do that, then that means that you're serious. If you want to put an end to having repeated disappointments and repeated betrayals, then you want to really be able to go within yourself, understand what is going on there, and then you can use that to know these other people, because you're going to use the same blueprint. Like I said, you cannot go to a goldsmith who has been dealing with gold, who deals with gold on a daily basis, and give them a counterfeit. You have to become the thing that you want. When you become it, then that becomes accessible. That is the way that it's done. And you put an end to the frustration, because how is it that there are people who consistently have good relationships? When they want to have a relationship with this person, they know that they are safe. They don't go with fear, because they know that they can read this thing, they can read this person. Yes, some people have the ability to read characters, to read people. It comes from somewhere. There's a reason why this person can read people and the next person can't read people. But when you now consciously go out of your way to learn just a few things, then you begin to be that kind of person who can also pick the right people for you. There are things that we can't control in life. We can't tell when something will happen and come up that will cause the person to whatever, right? But as for having a relationship with you that is fulfilling and that is joy-filled, you can absolutely do that. Do not think that it's a matter of luck. Do not think that it's a matter of numbers. The only thing that's a matter of numbers is coming across that person. And yet, even today, you're coming across so many of these people, but you don't know. Because when you don't know what you're looking for, you might actually see it and not even recognize it when it's standing in front. What is luck? Luck is something that can happen at any time. That is not really how we want to live our lives, right? Especially if you have been having issues with relationships, especially if you have been wondering, why does this happen? Once you have that thought, once you think, I do everything right, I'm very loving, and still you find that you're consistently being betrayed or disappointed by people, then there is a blind spot that you don't know, something that you're not seeing. Doing inner work with me will help you to find out what it is that is in your blind spot that you're missing, so that we can actually uninstall the programming that you're functioning with, because that is where the problem is. You have software there that you need to get rid of, and then download new drivers so that you can begin to function at your optimum. So I'm leaving the link under the video. You can start off for free, and if you want to go deeper, just start off for free and see how it changes things for you. And then if you want to go deeper, my links are there as well, and you can book with me, and then we work together one-on-one or in a group setting.